Hello everybody, my name is Galacti and welcome on back to another figure review where today we are going to be taking a look at the Avengers Endgame SH Figuarts Final Battle Edition Thanos. A little, just to tell you about this figure, this was my second actual SH Figuarts figure. What I mean by that is I did in the past buy like knockoff versions, and I will actually talk about two of those, both Thanos figures. I bought the original version variant that came out, the first one, as a knockoff. He is no longer with us. Actually, I think my little brother has him, but he has been kind of damaged since. But I actually, with this figure, and I will talk about it, I use parts from that original figure, which I kind of find funny. But anyway, let's actually get into the review. So here's the packaging right here. This looks much more, I think I've talked about Mafex versus, or like the Mafex packaging, how it doesn't look that interesting. This really does. It has a really nice kind of sketch of Thanos, Avengers Endgame, really nice A logo, Bandai, letting us know who made it, Thanos, Final Battle Edition. You got the seal of approval, letting you know this is a real Bandai figure. There's the top, the side, nice picture, or yeah, nice image of the figure. The back, this is probably the coolest part. I actually have this displayed showing off this just because of all the cool product shots of the figure itself. Here's that side. Bottom, not really that special. So let's take a look at the accessories this figure comes with, because it comes with a lot. Okay, and like I said, Thanos does come with a decent amount of accessories. So let's first take a look at, let's get the boring stuff out of the way. He's got the 3 sets of interchangeable hands. He's got the fisted hands right here. They do have a nice wash on them though. I really do like that. He's got weapon holding hands. He comes with 2 of them. And I mention that because the first version of him only comes with the 1 because he has the Infinity Gauntlet on, which isn't even accurate to the movie. So it's nice to see that he has 2, so you can display the sword with either side. And then he's got wide open hands. And then speaking of, he does come with the sword. I don't think this was ever given a real name. I know some people call it the Bi-Blade. And to port that into his hand, you want to just take it apart like that. And then whichever hand you want, you just slide it in. Slide one side in. And then play match the shape. And I did actually, there we go. I did actually put super glue around this, the handle of it, because it was very loose and it would just kind of twist and turn. So if you put a few layers of super glue on it, it will stay very nice. And the blade itself looks really good. There's nice wash over that silver, nice black. It looks so much better than the original. I actually have the Marvel Legends version, which is kind of what the original looked like, except I think the original, it had a weirder handle, but it looked somewhat like that. Not exactly. I don't know. I can't. Like I said, I don't have the original anymore, but it was really ugly and based on promotional art. So I'm very happy that they were able to go back and design this one. And it's so much bigger too, so it really stands out when posing the figure. And alongside the Bi-Blade, which is what I'll call it, you get the stand for it. So what you would do is you just port it right in there. And it looks really good. So I'll show you Thanos standing, and I'll show you what the figure looks like with it on that. But I really do enjoy that. And then he's got the other interchangeable right arm, and I'll show you how this is ported on later. And it is with the Infinity Gauntlet, or the Nano Gauntlet, with all the stones, the first one. And then he has the interchangeable hand, which is a snapping, no Infinity Stone variant, which I really like. And both of them came out spectacularly. Yeah, They look great, is what I'm trying to say. It is a little weird seeing the joint right there, but I mean, it does help with articulation. One thing I've noticed is they tried to make it so that it would be easy to take it off. And I noticed this with the actual arms on him, on Thanos as well, is when you're trying to port this off, this was supposed to try to like help the hand stay on. It just kind of, it doesn't work. So you're going to have to try to that way, which is kind of annoying. But both hands look great. I really do love it. And then we have 3 heads. We have smiling Thanos head. Looks really good. We have the angry Thanos head, which I love to pose him with. Also looks really good. And then we have the helmeted head, and this is actually where I took some of the parts from the original version. This is actually not the headpiece that came with this figure. That is somewhere not with me right now. So this figure only came with this expression. And I didn't, but since I had the other one, he came with these other expressions, which were able to be ported into the helmet as well. So if you have that version or a bootleg version, you can do this, and you can switch him off and have, you know, Thanos smiling under the mask and or helmet and stuff like that, which I'm kind of upset they didn't include in this version because they had the means to. They just kind of copped out and got lazy on it. So it only came with this expression. So I took the one figure, took these head sculpts, and just said made them my own and put them with the figure. But you can also remove this little port right here and then just have the helmet on its own, and that'll be useful for later. So I'll show you what kind of the whole display should look like if you want to display Thanos with like all the pieces he comes with. And then topping it all off, we have this really nice pipe display base that you can have Thanos sit on, which just looks really good. I love displaying Thanos on it. I kind of wish there was a little more like wash though in these parts. I think the pipe looks fantastic, but maybe like the ground and the like wood, wish there was some wash to it. But other than that, it looks really good. All right, but with all that out of the way, let's take a closer look at the figure himself. All right, and here's armored Thanos out of the packaging, looking really good. As I've mentioned, this is one of my favorite figures. I forget where he was on that list that I made about a week ago, but I do really enjoy this figure. He is my favorite Thanos figure, and I would say he's probably the best 1/12 scale Thanos we have out there at the moment. So there are a few things, though, I will say I feel like other companies have done better, and I will talk about that. I do have a few opinions, and that actually starts with the head. So if I bring you closer to the head, you know, I think it looks really good and all, but Marvel Legends, I think they nailed it. Like, Marvel Legends really did good. I wish that these were kind of swapped in a way. You know, I feel like this looks more like Josh Brolin's Thanos from the movie. I don't know, this doesn't look like that Thanos, but I guess with the rest of the figure, he does look great, and that's a little nitpick for me. I will say that I do customize my figures, or I do things to my figures. And since I've had him so long, there were decisions I've made that you might not make with it, but I have made for myself. And I'll let you know that these right here are supposed to move. They're actually on a hinge right here, and that's supposed to help articulation. But it just kept, like these shoulder pads, and they just kept getting out of the way and flying up, and it got annoying when trying to pose him. If you're good with the figure, and I know I hate trying to do it on camera because I can do it, but if you're really good with it, you don't need those to move up to have really good range and articulation. And actually, same with these guys. These were supposed to come off, but they just fell off too easily, and I said I'm never going to display them without them, so I just decided to glue them on. Now these I actually didn't. So they're movable and you can move them around. You can take them off if I felt like it. I don't know why I haven't super glued them down because I just find it a bit annoying. But yeah, so his articulation is just fine the way it is. So you really don't need those to be movable. I think it was just for more articulation. And I'm happy they did it, you know. I understand why, but for me, it just got annoying. So I super glued it all down. But the body looks great. Looks much better than the original. I do not, like I said, I don't have it, so I can't really compare, but it truly does have that, the battle damage. I love seeing the damage everywhere and the different color. I actually didn't even know he had this kind of color in his armor until rewatching the movie, and sure enough, he does. And another thing I'm impressed about is this is, I believe, most of this figure, if not all of it besides the head sculpts and stuff, is new sculpt. So they didn't just take the original version and add a new like paint deco and stuff like that. No, this is a new figure, which impresses me. They even implemented some new joints here in the legs, which I'll talk about in the articulation. Even the back looks really good. You can see all the weathering and even his arms. They look really nice. Really nice. Another thing I did do is super glued this down though, because every time I would sit him down, it would stick up, and I just decided to super glue it down. So every time now he sits down, it'll just kind of fall right back into place, and it doesn't hinder articulation. So I do know this one. I don't think I didn't super glue that down. But yeah, really good figure. Again, I love this figure. He's my favorite Thanos. I think he's my favorite villain figure as well that I have in my collection. So, looking over the articulation, his head does not move up that much. Not that far up. You know, it's not that bad going down. As long as, I guess as long as he can look down at other smaller figures like the Avengers. It does move side to side, and it does have some pivot. My shoulders move outward that far, just about, with the armor not moving. I'm not even sure it moved up much further with it going all the way up, but what it did do was like allow for it to move straight forward like this, so I can move this far up without, so I can't go with the full 360. I can move that far back before it hits into its thing. It does have a butterfly joint in it, and then wrist, there's a swivel, and then all the hands turn side to side and hinge up and down, or well, it hinges wherever you have the hand configured, so I think that's pretty good. Full ab crunch, not that far forward, better in the back. There's some kind of pivot though there. He's got a nice range of movement. And then the legs, you know, it's kind of crazy seeing Thanos being able to do the splits, and he is full-on split. That's a full-on split. It's pretty impressive. He can kick upward that much, not far back. There's a bit of a swivel in here. His legs go upward that far. Not much back though, so the boot's a little irksome. Not much back, not much forward. There's a bit of pivot. You gotta kind of play with that though. And then he's got the joint, toe joint. All right, and here's Thanos all displayed out with his little display area right here. We've got the pipe, the sword, a little place for it, and the helmet, which you can kind of put on the sword. It's a little difficult at times, and when you get it on there, you don't want to knock it off because sometimes it's a bit of a hassle getting it back on. But this is what it looks like, and I think it looks fantastic. It is really fun to display Thanos like this. But again, this is to me one of the many options you have with him. So you can also, I'm gonna just show this off on camera. There's Thanos. what you can do is you grab this arm and you pull that off. And because this one was not originally on the figure in the packaging, it is a little tighter to get on. So let me do behind the camera strength and actually get it on. Actually took the hand off with it, but okay. And there we go. And I think that looks great, so you can get Thanos doing that snap. Yeah, man, that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. And then to round things off, again, I do hate this. These are supposed to keep the arm, you know, the hand from, or the peg from dislocating from the arm when you take the hand off, which it just does not do it that well. I wish it was better, because it is a little annoying having to remove the hand off of it and put it back in. Okay, but, and I'm not going to remove the other arm, the one with the gauntlet, but just to show you, this is what Thanos looks like with the sword. And again, the size of the sword I mentioned earlier, I think looks really good. I think that's the one thing that Marvel Legends didn't do well. Or one of the few things it didn't do well with this new release. And I'm going to show that off in a minute, but its sword is really small for a bigger figure, and you can actually see here the sword is smaller than this one. So, I don't know what's up with that, but, you know. Alright. And then let's actually compare him to some other figures. And the first one I'll actually do is an Infinity War Thanos. This is a bootleg at SH Figuarts. I did some customizing too to kind of make him a little more dark. You can see I put my own form of wash into the skin tone, which I think makes him look much better. He looks good in my Infinity War display. And then here's the Endgame Thanos from Marvel Legends. Looking up at him. I think the things that this figure does better with is the head sculpts and the color. I think the color's better on just the skin color, though. Just the skin color. I think any color in the armor goes to him. I think this one has everything else beat on that one, except this one does come with a dusting head. And if you want to see more about that, I'll have a review for this one day, maybe, if you want it. Leave a comment if you do. Let's see. We'll do my Endgame Thor. All powered up. They look really good together. I love posing these two together. And I do want to do a review on this Thor. This is a little customized. Well, the only thing truly that was customized is this head. And this is, and I'll just show you. I'll show you here. What I did to this head was I lifted up the neck so that the peg would rest up further. Let me take the head off. It's a little hard with all these electric effects. There we go. Okay. So I lifted this peg up, and then I super glued the hair down. And then I actually put brown throughout the head, which I think looks much better than the gold hair they came with. So I do like this figure a lot more because of these upgrades. And I do have two of them. I do have two. So I can show, and one of them I did not do any customization to. I'm not planning on it, so I'm going to get both of them, keep both of them. But yeah, these two look great together. And then we have the 2-pack Iron Man, which I think, again, these do, they don't scale perfectly, but I think if you do clever pictures and clever posing, Thanos can look more intimidating and bigger. So like I have Iron Man crouched a bit, which can make him look a little better. And then we have my custom SH Figuarts and Marvel Legends Captain America. Actually, this still is same ranks, third favorite figure, but there were a few things changed about him. So I'd love to talk about that, but I don't want to right now. That could be for a video of its own. Probably a short video though, because I did a review on this figure. That was a long time ago though, and I actually rewatched it to see how interesting it was, and it was interesting. So we're not gonna, don't, unless you really want to cringe, don't go back and watch those videos. That's what I learned. So yeah, I mean, well, you're watching me right now, so you're probably cringing a bit, but yeah, whatever. We're just having fun. We had a snow day today, guys, and that's kind of why I made this video, decided to. We were all snowed in, and apparently, from what I was told, I might be wrong about this, but I think my brother told me we're going to be snowed in tomorrow as well. So the school called us already, and they let us know that tomorrow we are having a snow day as well. So that's pretty nice. Snow day on a Thursday, Friday, and then we have a Saturday and Sunday off. So we have a 4-day weekend, which is kind of nice. But I hope Friday I can make a few reviews. Maybe a few. I am thinking of, and I'm even thinking of right now. Trying to find another figure to review or something like that. I think it's just sometimes it's a little difficult coming up with who should I review and stuff like that. So I'm like, that's why I ask, if you want to see anybody specific, go ahead and put it down. Just because I have so many figures and it's so hard to decide who I want to do. And I want to separate some of the big ones out, but also I know that these are the ones that are really important to me. So that's why I'm putting the Mafex figures and this SH Figuarts figure and stuff like that. So maybe what I'll do tonight is I might actually do a video on this Captain America. Just because. It'll be a shorter video, so it's just easier to make and put out there. And if you want to see any other top 10 lists, give me ideas for that. Give me ideas on other things you want to see. But just to summarize, I love this figure. I think it looks amazing. It has great accessories, a lot of display options, and he's one of my favorite villains, so it's really nice being able to see him made this well. And I've had a lot of Thanos figures, and none of them have really hit the mark. This one, I believe, hits most of them. Probably not all of them. Like I said, I do have an issue with the face. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. So I'd say 9 out of 10 figure. Solid figure. Definitely worth it. I actually picked this up at a GameStop when he first came out, or right around that time when GameStop first sold him. Same with my Thor. And it was... Have you ever had that time where you go into a store or something, or you're online shopping, you see something and you don't even have to think about it, you just instantly buy it, you pick it up and you're on the way to checking out, you have no thought about it, you're like, I'm buying that. That's how this figure was for me. I didn't have to think it over, I just purchased it. And it was expensive. But well worth it. So, let me know what you guys think. This has been a pretty long review, so I'm going to try to cut it off right here, right now. So let me know what you think. Comment down below. What do you want to see next? And peace out.